Asset to item feud is the item shenanigans that occur in the season. Lil Luigi here, Item Feud Season 2, Episode 9.2. Today you're gonna see the mind games at play. First, Squish drew Max Facto wearing their crown and not doing drugs. And here's me if I was Beans. That is all the fan art. Item usage time. Baced used their guest commentator to narrate today's item usage and pick the outro song. So here they are.
As you know, Ice Cream used cat ears on Chicken last round, which means it's their turn to be affected by cat ears. Max Facto told the public they were going to use Worst Hand to make Angel use their cat ears on Ice Cream. Of course, they noticed and said they're okay with that. Max then suggested that Ice Cream is gonna use their shield to block cat ears. Max tried to figure out whether or not they're bluffing and said Ice Cream won't use a shield in the public track. So here's what really happened. Ice Cream did not use their shield. Instead, they used their flashbang on Lee so they could steal their shield from them and use that instead. So now any items affecting Ice Cream won't work. But what did Max do? Well, they actually used Force Hands on the to make them use their revolution. So the shield was all for nothing, but there's more. Yoshi Awesome used their Force Hand on Max Facto to make them use their Force Hand on Change Up the Raiden to make them use their skew attack on Jammo. This does cancel Max action, and now Jammo's percentile will be 90% theirs and 10% Brayden's. That's all for that shenanigans. Next, the Mighty Chicken used their two lover filters on Max and Percy. That means any boost or penalty they will get will happen to Chicken. Next, Lee's used Jettison to discard their group battle in exchange for 2.21%, which was determined by the value of that item. They also decided to slap Max Facto and them lose 3%. Lastly, they used orange juice on Max Facto and themselves twice. That means that if they get over 50%, they'll get a 2% boost, but otherwise, they'll get a 2% penalty.
Thank you, Baced. Now here's what happened in the crossover episode. Everyone started off with 6 HP, and after the first round, Pikachu, Ice Cream, Koopa, Mola, Max Super, and Chicken all were killed, and Brayden, Chocolate, and Tanker were damaged. Then in the next round, Angel, Base, Chocolate, Tanker, and Yoshi were killed, and Lisa and Percy were damaged. Then in the next round, Lisa and Percy died, leaving us with 4 players and what looks like a tie, but actually Master 9 got brutally shot to death, along with Jammo, leaving a tie between Nakaunik and Brayden, which Nakaunik wins since they had the most health in the past, so they get a 5% boost. Time for results. The contestant who answered the prompt the best was Tanker! Good work. They submitted, since we're in the Ice Age, we're always in the Christmas spirit, so unwrap the baby. A rib cage and kidneys, that's just what I asked for. This is the best Christmas ever. What? In second place we have Nakaunik. They questioned their own idea in their submission, but they still got second with that 5% boost. In third place is Amazing Pikachu 37, who also used an acorn but had the most controversial submission. And the contestant in fourth place is Super Cool Max Facto, who hates their own prompt so much that their answer was to forget about it. It's not that easy to escape your crimes though, Max. Now in the kinda yellow zone there is Brayden, Koopa, and Molub. Molub actually gives the realistic way to kill the Ice Age baby, so I'm going to give them a 25,000% boost. The gray zone has the contestants Lee's, Ice Cream, Chicken, and Masrock. Chicken did successfully say ooh in all like 80 of their messages, although their 2 love filters did absolutely nothing. And the kinda red zone is Chalkin, Angel, and Percy. All of the short submissions. Also, looks like Chalkin tried to reference items outside of a meta prompt, which is not okay. Lastly, in the red zone are the contestants Yoshi, Base, Jammo, and Super. Jammo actually got a giant boost from their skew attack, but that's only because they did very poorly. Their submission was also the least controversial. And it's time to see the team scores. Go! Uh-oh. Looks like it would be funny if our name had team in it too lost their last life. That means they're going to lose 80% of their team members, and it's time for the team switch. Also, since the Eton blue team lost a life, they're going to lose 2 of their team members as well. Also, I'll be counting the revived ghost as a fraction of a contestant, but that doesn't change the fact that the blue yonder team is losing all but 1 team member. Let's see which one survives. So the first contestant to be eliminated is the contestant Baced Shotgun with an average percentile of 38.24% for their team. How unfortunate. The next contestant to die will be Percy, who got an average of 39.96% for their team. They did just a bit better than Baced. Next up is Masterrock 9 and Brizzlebrip, who are already dead. After that, the next contestant to be eliminated is the Mighty Chicken, who got an average of 48.06% for their team. And the final contestant that will die in the blue yonder team is Leaves, who got an average of 56.89%. They did consistently well, but unfortunately not well enough to beat Max Fecto, who got an average of 60.95% and lives on. Now the Eton blue team is up. Only 2 of their team members will die, so I'll announce who lives. The first survivor is, of course, Chain Chomp Brayden, who got an average of 65.98% for their team. They did pretty well. The second survivor of the Eton blue team is Nakaunik, whose average was 59.47%. The third survivor is the contestant Chalkin, who got 59.10% on average and was pretty consistent. Now for the last survivor of the Eton blue team, they are Angel with an average score of 52.20%. All survivors got over 50%. That means Tanker and JMO are eliminated with an average score of 46.36% and 30.29%, despite Tanker just winning. Sorry guys, but you must go. Don't be too sad though. As a ghost, you can now make your very own custom item by DMing Spaghetti Luigi the item name, description, and icon. You can also send a eulogy to Spaghetti Luigi, which I'll announce in the next video. And lastly, you'll be able to send ghost submissions that don't affect anything to some of the prompts. Also, now that we have 11 contestants, ghosts will be allowed to send fillers, but if too many are sent, I will not be accepting all of them. Also, the contestants can now send Spaghetti Luigi a confessional that I'll read out loud in the next video of Item Feud. Now, it's time to announce the new teams. The first one is non-existent because Max Fecto forgot to freaking make it. They'll be forced to make it before the submission period ends, or else I'll choose it for them. And this team is, of course, Max Fecto, Koopa, Chalkin, and Ice Cream. The next team is the color yellow. Wow, look at that. And this team is Pikachu, Nakaunik, Angel, and Yoshi. And lastly, the lonely hot pink team with only 3 players has Brayden, Molub, and Super. Have fun guys, and make sure to come up with that team name and icon in time. Now for the stats. Here you can see Taker is now the new most controversial contestant so far. We can also see that Brayden and Baced both broke at the same time and used 1 item. Well, Brayden was forced to. And lastly, Percy and Angel are now tied and are both competing to be the most popular. And the prompt for round 10 is answer this prompt by April 22nd, 3 p.m. CST. Comment down which team you think will do the best. Like, subscribe, bye! Thanks Omelette, Brizzlebrip, and Percy for supporting me on Patreon.